This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, it's now 6:30 and I'll call this town council meeting to order. The first thing on the agenda is the invocation and by Jeff Wood from the Oasis of Hope Church. Good evening, sir.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for our wonderful town. We thank you for its leaders. We thank you for all of our community. And we ask your blessings upon this meeting. Give wisdom tonight, and we thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I will now entertain any motions relating to the agenda. All right, if I have no motions relating to the agenda, the next thing is the minutes approval. And these are minutes approval for February 28th, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for February 28th, 23.
Second. Okay, before we vote on it, is there any discussion? Mr. Fanning?
Yes.
Holder?
Yes.
Tinkin?
Yes.
Drake?
Yes.
And I'm yes. So that passed. Just so that anybody knows that Councilwoman Keating is not here this evening because she isn't feeling well, and also Laverne Cracklaw is not here tonight because he is not feeling well either. Next thing on the agenda is public comments, and these are public comments relating to agenda items. No public comments. All right, we're moving right along. Next thing is the communications, and under that, the first one is the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. And if you have not seen by now, happy 59th birthday to the town of Surfside Beach.
And then I would also like to give a big thank you to Dusty McCracken for helping produce this video and put it all together. And then Food Lion store number 2239, who has supplied us all with birthday cupcakes. So grab one before you leave.
It was on this day, March 14th, 1960. So it was 59 years ago today. Happy birthday. Happy 59th birthday, Surfside Beach.
Happy 59th birthday, Surfside Beach. We are so blessed to live in this sweet little town. Happy 59th birthday, Surfside Beach.
From the Business Committee. Happy 59th birthday, Surfside Beach. Happy 59th birthday, Surfside Beach. From the Beer Committee. Happy birthday, Surfside Beach.
Happy birthday, Surfside Beach, from your friendly neighborhood food line.
Happy birthday, Surfside.
Tabitha, that was great. And thank Dusty for helping you put all that together.
Yes,
So,
sir.
are we not some of the luckiest people in Baker
Yes.
Plain to live here in Surfside Beach?
I agree.
We really are. Thank you for that, Tabitha, appreciate it.
Of course.
So, and I guess we'll eat cupcakes after the meeting, or can we eat them while we're?
I don't care.
So I want to continue with the administrative report, and I want to start with Public Works and just go over a few items that's been happening that John shared with me today. All of the lost children signs at the beach accesses have been replaced and rebuilt in time for our season. All the street name poles at these same access points have been painted and refreshed. Hopefully you've already noticed that John and his staff took care of all those. And First Avenue South between Ocean Boulevard and Seaside Drive has been reduced to one lane to accommodate the digital golf cart parking. And this was approved by council after a recommendation from the parking committee. So that has all been taken care of. And now I'd like to ask Director John Adair to come up for a moment and just fill our community in on the funding for the beach restoration.
So, excuse me. Good evening, council and mayor, citizen. Yeah, Rob had asked me to speak a little bit about the beach renourishment that's upcoming after the storm. Hurricane Ian came by at the end of September. The county is really the lead on this. The area, the Myrtle Beach area is broken into three different areas, Reach 1, 2, and 3. We're part of Reach 3. So every year the county takes, even without a hurricane, they take current profiles of the beach to see where we stand with sand. And about every couple of hundred feet, they take another elevation shot every year. So they have something to compare to. So they're back in October, they took measurements after the storm, and there were about 300,000 cubic yards we have lost about since the last reading that they took. So they figure about 250,000 were due to the hurricane. So in any event, they applied along with all of our neighbors to the federal government, to the Army Corps for emergency rehabilitation assistance, they call it, for the beach. And that was approved. Some of you might have seen the email recently from our consultant who represents the Grand Strand in Washington with Marlowe. And the Congress has appropriated about $56 or $54 million for that purpose. So the Army Corps will be, over the next 6 months, engineering the repairs. That will include the beach renourishment, which we've had in the past. The dunes will be built back up. The sand fencing will all be replaced, the signage, etc. And they anticipate to be able to let that sometime in the fall. So if anybody has any questions about that, if I can't answer them, I'll find out for you any further information. But that's where we stand right now. It looks like it's not going to happen in the summertime, which is good. The last couple of renourishments were in the middle of the summer. So maybe we'll get a break. We'll get it in the off season.
Beach renourishment, usually on a normal course without storms, we do it about every 10 years.
Yeah,
Right.
8, 9, 10 years. Depends on if we reach that trigger of loss.
And when was the last time we did the beach renourishment?
Well, we did it in the regular renourishment, I believe it was in 16, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was 17. And then we immediately had to do it again the following year because we had a storm. We had a repair. But
And with Ian, how much percentage of the dunes did we lose?
in some cases, all of it. You know, we've built up a temporary berm, which we were allowed to do under OCRM, to build up. Well, if you drive up and down the beach, you walk up and down the beach, you'll see a berm we built alongside the construction line. But the permanent dune system will be larger than that and vegetated. And they do all that planting of the dune grasses and everything like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
John, do we have to, are we paying for any of it?
No, it's 100% federally funded
Wow, awesome.
That's fantastic.
this time,
This
and
time.
last time.
Thank you, John.
Thank
And I think a lot of that is a testament to John and the work that he does. I think we call him the grant man. I've heard council refer to him that. And John, we so appreciate you and the folks with Public Works. You are the unsung heroes of the town. I mean, they were out slinging mulch for the last 2 or 3 days, if you've seen them out and about. So we so appreciate you, John. Thank you very much for that. And moving on to PB&Z, I spoke with Sabrina today, and I mentioned at the last council meeting that all of her vacant positions had been filled. And today she had, or actually today's Tuesday, so yesterday she had the permit tech, Angie Suzuki, started yesterday, and our code enforcement officer started, Brian Gaffney. So he started yesterday, so 2 new folks that you'll see at Town Hall. And then she also hired the residential inspector, and he is to start on March the 27th, and his name is Douglas Varela. So all of those vacant positions have now been filled. I'm going to ask Tabitha to step back up just for a second. We had a very successful barbecue festival, and she's just going to give just a real quick update on the festival.
Yes, and I'll say it was successful indeed. Thank you. The weather could not have been better. We had over 70 vendors. Many of them were first-time vendors that gave me feedback on how well executed the setup and the breakdown process was. And many gave me feedback that they had record sales. So that's great to support local. We had 3 judges, Russell Fry, Tyler Servant, and Bart Ender. The results of the competition were first place Smokin' Down South, second place Coastal Barbecue, third place Barbecue House of Surfside Beach. Our entertainment was a big hit. The Fabulous Fish Heads, which is a local band, kicked us off from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Embers, a national known band, kept the party going 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. with an epic ending honoring our veterans. I would like to thank all of Public Works, police, and fire departments for all of their support to make this family-friendly event come to life. I couldn't have done it without you, so thank you. Any questions?
Great job.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Great job, Tabitha. Appreciate it. Moving on to the police department, Chief Hoffman wanted me to let the community and council know that the flock system that was funded is paying off. It has already paid off. And they had a strong arm robbery yesterday, and the flock system closed the case today. So yes, we need people, but the technology upgrades that council has approved is paying dividends for the safety of this community. So we thank Chief Hoffman for that. I want to let the community know that the town attorney position is still vacant. We reposted the RFP, and we've had 1 person interested. That RFP will remain open until March the 20th. So hopefully we're getting closer to hiring a town attorney. And also we put an RFP out for the peer insurance. We've had 2 people submit for that, and myself and Director King will be looking through those submissions and moving forward with that. Lastly, I want to give an update on the pier, which I normally start with, but I wanted to end with the pier for this report to give everyone an update. Again, every Tuesday, there's a peer progress meeting that I participate in along with John and Diana King. And just to give you a construction update very quickly, there was over 60 people working on the pier today. So it's a busy place if you have driven by there, and I'm sure most of you have. They are continuing the installation of the composite decking along the length of the pier. They are continuing demobilization of the temporary pier. The glass is still being installed into the storefronts. The electricians have energized all the buildings and are working toward energizing the end of the pier. And Consensus further put us in the loop that they are waiting for Santee Cooper to provide a date on when they will connect to the transformer and provide permanent power. So they're progressing with that. And they have begun production of resurfacing application for the concrete. We still have 2 of the buildings that have not been leased yet. 1 lease is very close to getting signed. Hopefully we'll have that signed within the next week or so. And the RFP was resent out for the last building on the pier, and there's some interest in that space also. So I want to just maybe reset some expectations on the pier. All of us want to get the pier completed. There is no doubt in that, including the mayor and council and all of you. So here is where we are at currently. So again, everyone is working very hard on the completion of the pier, and contrary to some beliefs, the town, Consensus, and Collins Engineering and LS3P are working well together, and we all understand as a collective group of stakeholders the significance and the importance of getting this pier finished. It's been a long process way before Rob Clemens ever got here. Consensus Construction is meeting the expectations of completing the pier structure and the shell of the buildings, which is what they were contracted to do, and they're about 95% complete. But we have some critical items that will impact the schedule in the totality of the pier being completed. And they are the sprinkler system and the fire suppression installed. We've been working as a fire department and as Keith Williams, the fire marshal. All of the permits and everything have been approved by the state. As far as moving forward with that, the contractors have been on site that's going to do the sprinkler install, and they will begin to work on that. But that doesn't happen overnight. The security cameras is a discussion that myself and Chief Hoffman are going to be having with the mayor and council. We have gotten some prices back on that, so we're going to be having some discussions about what that looks like and how we're going to move forward with the security cameras on the pier. And the parking lot, John is actively working on the parking lot. It's going out for bid by the end of the week. So we're actively moving and working on those things. So all of those items are moving forward. We are monitoring it very, very closely. And again, we want this pier completed for everybody to enjoy. But the April timeframe is not a realistic timeframe for the totality of the pier being completed. So we're looking more probably the end of May, June timeframe, and that is not because there's not a lot of work going on out there. There's a lot of layers and factors that go into this as we're coming to the end of this pier build. So I wanted to reset the expectation. I wanted our community to know that we are going to be transparent. Well, I am, and they are, as long as I'm sitting in this seat, and that's going to be the expectation of the next administrator about where we're at. So we want to get this done. So I just wanted to make sure that the community understood that tonight as we go forward with this meeting. So with that, Mayor, that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is the oath of office with the fire department.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Council, Chief Administrator, staff, family members, citizens, and business leaders. Before I get started with this, I want to thank the town, the fire department in Overy County. We lost a legend with the fire service back in February 5th of this year, Captain Mike Lewis. Surfside Beach in Overy County, we had a memorial service this past Saturday in Garden City Beach at First Baptist Church for him. He served the town for 24 years. And after retirement, he and Miss Jan resided here in Surfside Beach. Actually, both of them served the town for 24 years. Wow. So please keep her in your prayers and all future months to come. Thank you again for allowing me the time at this busy council meeting to celebrate some accomplishments within the Surfside Beach Fire Department. Tonight, I have the honor to represent the organization recognizing some of the most dedicated career members you'll ever know. Their commitment to the community is shown every day in how they prepare and deliver fire and EMS services, ALS and BLS services, and how they continue to grow as people and emergency responders. This evening, all of us together as a community will recognize two career hired captain paramedics and one volunteer hired to engineer firefighter 2. There's no greater reward for me representing members of our organization who have achieved a higher rank, obtained higher level of certification, and who have aspired to become career and volunteer firefighters. I am proud to be their deputy chief. I'll be remiss if I did not recognize and thank their families of our career and volunteer members. I know all of them would agree that without their families here tonight, they would be unwavering commitment to their families. I can proudly tell council and the citizens of Surfside Beach that these individuals serve this community and treat our customers as outlined in our mission statement, our motto, and our 4 pillars of culture. I am now privileged to introduce and have sworn in members of Surfside Beach Fire Department. As I call your names, please come up forward. Captain Paramedic Josh Newton, Captain Paramedic Chauncey Kelly, and Engineer 2 Xavier Chasen. Mayor, would you please administer the oath of office?
Absolutely. So Xavier, okay, Chauncey, and Josh. Okay. Would you raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me? I state your name.
I, John Shelley,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of South Carolina
and the Constitution of South Carolina
and the code and ordinances for the town of Surfside Beach.
and the code and ordinances for the town of Surfside Beach.
I will maintain the safety and health
I will maintain the safety and health
of the citizens and the fire and rescue providers.
of the citizens and the fire and rescue providers.
I recognize that I serve in a position of public trust,
I recognize I serve in a position of public trust.
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all duties incumbent upon me
and perform all duties incumbent on me
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Okay. Let's start with Xavier. Come on up here. I need your signature in 2 places, right here and right there. And Chauncey. Right here and right there. Here, did they get one? I know there's 2. You need one. Huh?
We're gonna frame it for them.
Okay. All right, and Josh Newton. And individually, if you'll step up, I'd like to shake your hand. Picture over there for that.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Dedication.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For your dedication.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, moving right along, we're going to the business section, and the one thing in the business section is the award of the contract for road surfacing from Director Adair.
Good evening again, Mayor, Council, and citizens. I'm just gonna turn this slide, this is hard for me to navigate that. My primary purpose for coming here tonight is to get consensus of council to award this next road resurfacing project we have coming up right in the next short while. This is probably the first time since I've worked here, I'm not going to recommend the low bidder on a project. We had 2 bids for this project. One was for $521,738.37, and one was for $593,000, $822.58. When you award a contract, when you're reviewing contracts and doing evaluations, you're looking at responsiveness, which is that they comply with what you wanted. They send in their bid bond, did all the paperwork filled out, et cetera. Is it a responsive bid? Was it on time? Also, what you look at is the bidder responsible? Is it a responsible bid? Which means to say, does the company have the manpower, equipment, and expertise to do the job correctly and on time and in budget? And based on our experience 2 years ago with this other company who was the low bidder, and I did call around all of our neighbors, and 2 other of our neighbors have also found that they did not perform up to par in a very recent contract. So based on those 3 factors, I would recommend the council bypass the low bidder, as we have the right to do, and award the contract to the higher bidder from Palmetto Corp. for $593,822.58. I'd be happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
John, that's $250,000. Is there a reason why it's so much higher than what you anticipated?
Well, the amount we budgeted was based on previous cost per mile from the last year's contract.
Yeah.
So the costs have skyrocketed, and I had to add one small segment to this project beyond what I had budgeted for. It didn't make sense not to do it. But it's not $250,000, it's $70,000.
Well, you
But you mean
Planned on-
compared to what the bid, yeah,
340 and it's 590.
no, we never asked CTC for 100% of the funding. We budgeted $450.
Okay.
Yes, CTC, the CTC reimbursement we're gonna get is actually more than that. It's a combination of the paving work and the pier parking lot is in one lump of money that I have coming from CTC. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, after this paving project is invoiced, I'm probably gonna apply to CTC for about $500,000 of that back, of that, say,
Okay.
590. And then the remaining 140, I got a $640,000 award from CTC. The remaining 140, I'll get back on the pier project after that's complete. So it'll be, basically, we'll spend the same money twice, more or less. But for this particular purpose, I have to get this started and get it awarded.
Very good.
Mr. Mayor, explain to me and everybody else, when you say the pier project, you're gonna get this $140,000 back from the pier project? What do you mean
The
by?
parking lot, I'm talking, the parking lot project?
Yes, sir. Is that in this bid for this?
No,
So where's that $140,000 coming from then? Who are you gonna get that back from?
from the SCDOT C program, which is the CTC committee. I was awarded $640,000 for this combined work.
Okay,
The paving and the pier lot was open into one request.
okay,
So I'm gonna apply for about $500,000 of that back after we get this invoice done, just in time to do the pier lot. And then I'll get another 140 back, the remainder of it, when that is billed out.
okay.
And that's in addition to what we have in the capital projects fund. This isn't the only money we have to work with.
Now, we do resurfacing every year. Okay, and the resurfacing that we've done over the last couple of years has all been done by Palmetto, the same company.
Well, 2 years ago, we did use Coastal Asphalt. They were the low bidder. That project was supposed to be a 60-day project. It turned into 5 months. And it was there were a lot of quality control issues, a lot of personnel issues they were having. I thought maybe it was a one-off type of thing, like they were coming out of COVID and they just had trouble doing things. So we kind of worked with them on that. But in speaking to some of our neighbors, municipalities, counties, everybody is lately, since then, having similar problems. Not everybody, 2 of them. So for that reason, I wouldn't suggest that we, make a problem worse than it needs to be.
When we used Palmetto in the past couple of years, they've been putting their dirt on Azalea on that lot back there, right?
No, that was from the Highway 17 project. That had nothing to do with town.
That didn't have to do with the town work?
No,
Okay,
they were awarded the contract from SCDOT to do the Highway 17 improvements a few years ago. And that was their staging area for that project. They don't excavate dirt from our paving project.
okay. All right, with that, do I have?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to recommend that we approve the resurfacing bid to Palmetto Corporation for $593,822.58.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion on it? Anything that you want to add to it before we vote?
No, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, Sherry, do you want to do a roll call on that, please?
Mr. Stingley?
Yes.
Mr. Holder?
Yes.
Mr. Kinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Drake?
Yes.
Mayor Hilliard?
Yes. So that did pass unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
And the next thing is under business, which is B, is third-party events with Tabitha Mall. So come on up.
Thank you very much. I am reading from my decision paper that should be in your packets, just so everybody knows. The subjects are Celebrate Surfside Beach Festival, the First Baptist Easter Egg Extravaganza, and the Guy Daniels Surf Off. And I am asking the request of Town Council to approve an agreement with these three special event requests. Celebrate Surfside Beach Festival is the first one. It was initially approved to hold a festival in the 800 block of 3rd Avenue South, the Alley, and Popular Drive from Surfside Drive to 4th Avenue South. This will be held on September 16th, 2023, which would be their third annual, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They will have vendors, food trucks, live music, children's activities, and fundraising for nonprofit organization. That's to be determined once approved. Requesting road closures on the 800 block of 3rd Avenue South, Floral Alley, Popular Drive, and Surfside Drive to 4th Avenue South. Road blockades are also requested, 2 police officers and 1 fire medical on site. There will be 10 by 10 tents that will be set up by the vendors and a stage with a tent over the stage. There is a resolution in your packets because there will be alcohol served during this event, as in the past. Would you like me to do all three before I do all three and then? Okay. The second one is the First Baptist Church Easter Egg Extravaganza. This was initially approved to hold an Easter-themed event for children at the First Baptist Church in Surfside Beach. It's on 711 16th Avenue North, Surfside Beach 29575. This will be held Saturday, April the 8th, 2023, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's a trunk or treat style event. Children will learn about Jesus and receive candy. They are requesting police assistance and road blockades. Our third is the 23rd annual Guy Daniels Surf Off. It was initially approved to hold the Surf Off event on 13th Avenue South in Surfside Beach, 29575. This will be held on August the 18th, 5 to 7 p.m., August the 19th and 20th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. On the 18th is a surf off check-in, luau show, live music, and then on the 19th and 20th is the surf contest, cornhole contest, and potentially a volleyball contest. They are requesting road blockades, trash cans. There will be a watercraft trailer on the beach and 4 to 5 vendor tents, speakers, and potentially a live band and food vendors. The other two recommendations is D, which allows free parking for the Easter sunrise service that will take place in front of River City Cafe. And then second, or E, is all of the Keep Surfside Beach beautiful beach sweeps from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 in total. We are asking that the parking be free during those hours as well. Be happy to answer any questions.
I got a quick question for
Sure.
you. The Guy Daniels,
Mhm.
are they suspending any parking for that?
They did not request it. I'm not sure if we should, but they didn't request it.
Okay. And
I thought that was usually done right around the 13th Avenue South.
yeah, that was that's usually,
What's in there in the
if
past.
I believe it was in ordinance that says that it happens every year and they will get done. But we need to make sure that got done,
Okay,
that so that we don't have a problem like we had at the barbecue festival,
exactly.
you know, where we had to do some last minute adjustments.
Sure, awesome. So I can follow up on that?
Mr. Mayor, on the Guy Daniel, on the third one down, do we always forbid to have the tents and the vendors and all on the beach as they're asking for? Do we
Yeah.
always would have that?
From what I read, it had always been that way.
They've always had that. It's not like a whole lot of vendors. It's like 2 or 3 vendors.
Well,
that
this
they have
says
down there.
four vendors.
All right, 4 vendors.
and
And one of the vendors is selling their T-shirts.
Yeah, they sell their shirts.
They're the Guy Daniels surf off shirts.
Well, I know the last time I went to one of them, there wasn't but one tent down there. And I didn't realize that we provided, we would let tents be on the beach for that.
Is this inclusive of all the events that are going to be happening in Surfside on the beach for there?
For
Because-
Guy Daniels, yes. That's
No, I mean for everything, because we have September for Celebrate Surfside. We have the
You have the hula
Guy
hoop.
Daniels and everything else, but I know that Adaptive Surf has one down there too, because they originally had it on the same date as the Guy Daniels, and they had to change theirs to September so that they didn't coincide with the two.
This is not all of the events. This is just what has been completed so far.
Okay, so as they come in, if we have more events, you will come before us and we'll authorize them on an individual basis.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
I
Shirley.
was just gonna say, the third party application allows the staff to approve unless they're asking for services like barricades, trash cans, or police help. If they're completely self-sufficient, it doesn't have to come to council. That's why we did the third party event
Okay.
application.
And Sherry just took the words right out of my mouth. I was just getting, no, that's fine. I was just getting ready to say that. So, it was a great question, Mayor. As the applications come in, yes, we will, if it meets the criteria for us to either bring it to council. That's why we updated the ordinance. And just to touch on what Sherry said, the Celebrate Surfside Beach Festival, First Baptist Church, Easter Egg Extravaganza, and the 23rd Guy Daniel Surf Off, they all did complete applications. Those applications went through the appropriate process with all the department heads, Public Works, Fire Department, Police Department, and they were all approved. So, as those applications come in, if there's any questions, we ask those questions of Tabitha, and we get all of that settled before that would come to you. So just to make sure that that process, and again, the only reason why there's a resolution here is because, and it's just, quite honestly, we updated it for this one from last year, so.
Plus we have a resolution for the alcohol.
That's the update.
Yeah,
It's in it.
It's separate.
All right, do I have a motion for these?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, make a motion that we approve the third-party events for the Guy Daniels Surf Off, the Celebration Surfside Beach, the First Baptist Church, Hacienda, and the resolution, okay, stop there.
I have a second?
Second.
Okay. And any comments before we vote?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
check with the people at Guy Daniels and see if they need parking suspended
Definitely.
in that general area.
Yes,
Because you'd hate for somebody to come and get a ticket.
for sure.
And,
Well, Tabitha, just so that you know, Tabitha and I had a meeting with Guy Daniels this week
okay,
and discussed that. And they really said that they weren't asking for much because they follow the regulations and they, the 13th Avenue parking lot, the one that's in there, that they use that lot to do it and they understand how tight it is. So they didn't request it. So
But I can definitely do a follow-up.
yeah,
call to
just
them,
check with them and see
For sure.
if they do.
because I think I read about 1,000 to 2,000 people show up.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of walking.
it sure is.
Thank
Now,
you.
what is Phil Jackson doing this summer? He hasn't applied for any events
He has, but it didn't require any council approval.
because he's just
He's
he's
self-sufficient.
going directly out of the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'll have two parts up. You want to do that? All right, go ahead. Go ahead, everybody.
You ready for roll call?
Mr. Stamey,
Yes.
Mr. Holder,
Yes.
Mr. Kinkin,
Yes.
Mr. Drake,
Yes.
Mayor Howard.
Yes. So that passed also.
Mr. Mayor, on the D&E, which would be the Easter service and the Keep Surfside Beautiful Beach Suite, to get those two approved.
I'll second it.
Any discussion before we go on that?
The Easter service part, I think it's very important that we put something out big time on your side to get as many people down to the beach that morning as possible.
Yes, sir. I'm already working with the churches that are involved, and we are partnering on social media together. And then we will also have it in our mayor's email
Very good.
and any other avenues we can.
Are they doing that on 3rd North? Or are they doing it up on 16th North?
the sunrise service, it's in front of River City Cafe.
Okay. So what was the second, you did
Roll call.
Roll call.
all right, Sherry?
Mr. Stamey?
Yes.
Mr. Holder?
Yes.
Mr. Kinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Drake?
Yes.
Mayor Hellier?
Yes. So did that cover all of them, or are we
Yes, the
still?
resolution.
So,
The last one.
all right, do I have a motion on the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we do the resolution, it's, for 23-5158, resolution of Surfside Beach, temporary suspend enforcement of certain ordinances of chapter 12 and chapter 8.
I second it.
Did you have any comments on that other than,
No, sir.
all right, Sherry, do you want to roll call on?
Mr. Stamey?
Yes.
Mr. Holder?
Yes.
Mr. Kinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Drake?
Yes.
Mayor Hellier?
Yes. Okay, moving right along. The next thing we have is application for reappointment for the Stormwater Committee.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Ms. Yvette Hellier to that position.
I second it.
Okay, any discussion on that?
She's pretty sketchy, isn't she?
Well, when it comes to the roll call, I'm going to recuse myself for this vote like I did on her original appointment. Hopefully it'll pass and she'll be still here. We'll see.
Mr. Stamey?
Yes.
Mr. Holder?
Yes.
Mr. Kinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Drake?
Yes.
Congratulations for another 4 years. All right, well, that takes care of most of the business. We are probably going to have an executive session because we have a lot to talk about tonight. So basically, we're going to do public comments now, and these are public comments for any town services or business. If anybody has any public comments, please come forward.
Harry Coleman, 10th Avenue North. There's a bill going around in this state. I don't know if you heard about it. It's H3253. And it's to amend the South Carolina Code of Laws by adding section blah, blah, blah to prohibit a governing body of a municipality, county, or other political subdivision of the state from enacting or enforcing ordinance, resolution, or regulation that prohibits the rental of a residential dwelling to a short-term guest, to avoid penalties and to define terms. So basically, what they're saying is the town of Surfside can't restrict 1 week rentals in the whole town. I believe we're doing our fair share. We have 2 blocks wide in the south end, 1 block wide in the north end, and a little bit bigger in the middle of town that you can rent your house for 1 week. If this gets passed, this could ruin this town. This is a family beach. This is a family town. I don't know where these legislators are from, but I'll tell you what, the coast, with our tax dollars from tourism, pays for everything in this state. So somebody out in, I don't know, Marion, out in, I don't know, Lexington, somewhere where nobody comes to visit, they don't care about this. But down here, this is going to affect us big time. Because if you think it's only going to be in the rental zone, it's going to be, could be possibly right next to your home. I have no problem with people coming here and vacationing and coming for a week. And I've lived in the rental zone. And it can get pretty annoying sometimes. You chalk it up. I was buying in the rental zone. But I now moved, I'm not in a rental zone. It'd be a terrible, terrible thing for this town and this state to do this to us. I think everyone needs to get out and start writing your representatives. The state senate is Stephen Goldfinch, and the state representative is Thomas Duval Guest. Email them, mail them, call them. We need to get people to stop this. You guys gotta pick a side here. You know, you have to get out and let people know about this stuff. You know, just like the apartment building that we almost had. Nobody knew about it until a couple of us got out and we got the town activated. And hopefully the people listening tonight are gonna say, whoa, I didn't know about this. It's going to affect everyone in this neighborhood. We need to get the word out. We need to stop this. Enough with this, the whole state living on our backs. Thank you.
Are there any other public comments?
Hi,
Good evening.
I'm Cindy Lane and I live at 12 South Cedar Drive. And I know there's wonderful activities here in Surfside, and I know we have parking issues, but both myself and my neighbor, we weren't here for this barbecue festival, and people were just parking in the yards. And I have a question as to why that is allowed up closer to 17 Business, and yet we have signs down at the beach that you can't park on the side of the road. And I'm asking, what can we do to prevent that for folks? I'm not here 24/7, so, but I take pride in my home, been here 20 years, and just, we need to address this as you want the town to continue to grow. And I know parking's an issue, but somewhere along the line, it's gonna have to be addressed. You know, you're telling me you're bringing in 2,000 people to an event. Where do you want people to park? I mean, really and truly, and have you not considered at some point doing a trolley system? Something where you park away and you trolley people back in and forth. Something that allows it to continue to have these fun activities, but not impinge on our homeowners. I don't know. I know you have a parking committee. Should that be addressed with them? Is that something I need to do? Or no? Is this enough, or should I?
Well, on the public comments, we're not allowed to go and answer questions.
So we get nothing back from y'all.
We're listening to you. Are there any other public comments? All right, with that, we'll have the closing comments from town council. So, Mr. Stamey.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy birthday to Surfside. 59 years being here. Glad to see everybody here. And I am going to address the parking thing. It is being worked on. The parking committee maybe does need to look at some of this stuff that's going on. We do need to address the parking because it is a big thing here in town. As it gets crowded, it's going to get worse, and there are going to have to be some solutions made. Other than that, as y'all heard tonight, it sounds like the pier is going to be delayed again. No surprise, probably to nobody. By saying that, it's sort of aggravating because we get promised one thing and we get something else. I get tired of it as a council person of hearing this because this project is really going on way longer than it should, costing a whole lot more money than it should. And I hope everybody's keeping up with it. And to address the other guy on this bill, I have talked to our state person about this. because it came up. I don't like what they're proposing to do, but I'm working on that too. Besides that, everybody have a great day. This is a great town to live in. Thank our staffs. They do a great job. Tabitha's doing a great job. John, Chief Hoffman, all of you is doing a great job. I can't express it enough. Thank you.
Mr. Holden.
Yes, I'd like to congratulate, first off, our 3 firemen that got the promotion and are sworn in tonight. It's great to see 2 paramedics leading right there in the way. And this is something I feel strongly about that we need as a town. So it's great for us. So thank you. And thank you, John, for the paving and everything. I'm getting that approved and we move forward. And our streets look great. And you do a great job of doing that, keeping them looking great. And congratulations, Surfside. 59 years. I don't know if it's a birthday or an anniversary. I think it's an anniversary. So 59 years, and I've been coming here since 1970. So I've been coming here not long after it started here as a town. But I would also like to say that the event we had this past week for the barbecue contest was very successful. And the barbecue was great. I had some barbecue and it was really great. And I really liked the second group, the Embers. I don't think I've ever been here when we had 500 to 1,000 people sitting down there on the street to listen to the music. That was a first. We've had 100, but nowhere near that crowd. So that was a great draw, and they did if you weren't there, they did a great thing for the veterans. At the end of it, they called them all up front and had them stand up front. Then they sang the Rick Greenwood's song to them and had everybody come up and shake their hands. And there was a lot of wet eyes for that event. And that was great because we have a lot of veterans in our town. So with that, y'all have a good day and I'll see you next year, couple 2 weeks.
Thank you. Mr. Kinkin.
I want to thank everybody for coming out, and I hope there are a lot of people tuned in. Special thanks and congratulations to our medic and firemen tonight. It's awesome. I want to take a minute to thank Chief Clemens. He is doing a tremendous job for this town. You've heard reports. We didn't used to get those. It just makes a huge difference. People know what's going on. And there's one other person I want to thank. I want to thank his wife for putting up with this because she didn't buy into this. He's putting in long hours. He writes emails at night. I've had a few phone calls from him at night. So folks, we're getting more than our money's worth out of this gentleman, and he's doing a super job, and I want to thank him. I want to thank Tabitha for the barbecue festival. She got in on it late and did a fantastic job. I love the music. I did not stay to the end, but really did enjoy both bands and enjoyed seeing so many people out. So we have a great town. I've said this many times. I've been here. In fact, I spent my high school summers here. So, I've been here a long time. And it just keeps growing on me. I really think we are very fortunate to live in this town. With that said, thank you all, and have a good 2 weeks, and maybe the weather will warm back up because I couldn't believe how nice February was, but now we're in March, different month. Thank you all.
Mr. Drake.
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and coming out tonight, and thank the fire department for the new employees and what they're doing there. It's great. The barbecue festival was fantastic. Barbecue was great. Tabitha, you did a great job on pulling that all off in a short period of time. Great job. The roads, John, thank you for what you did on that and the money that you got coming into the town. Very good. The parking situation, it is a problem during the busy time of the year. That's one sacrifice we probably have to make for living in a beautiful town where everybody wants to come to. The parking, if they're parking up in your yard, it shouldn't be. The parking that I saw when I was at the barbecue festival, I was noticing some of that. People parking in the street, half their car in the road. I even pointed it out to the parking guys running around. They were writing tickets as fast as they could go. But if they're off the road and they're in the right of way, that is the right of way. We're gonna have to do some readjustments probably in some of the areas of parking. We've got this big parking lot up here. I like the idea of maybe a shuttle to move some of these people back and forth. That's very good. Something we need to look at. But if you see people parking, if you can, as a good neighbor, not as a Karen or a, Kevin, giving people a heck about parking, because it is the right of way. They have a right to park in the right of way. But let them know, get the car out of the road. I mean, when the car's half hanging in the road, I think they deserve a ticket. And I applaud our police department for writing tickets for that stuff. They need to. But just keep that in mind. And as far as the pier goes, the pier's got some hiccups here and there, but we need to go back and look at some dates. The pier would not even be accomplished at all if we'd have set with the dates they had going. We were this close to losing that FEMA grant. And that's no exaggeration. I mean, that close. And we worked with them. We got Lindsey Graham involved. We got other people involved. And the date for start was going to be in October. They kept saying, no, that was the ending date, not the beginning date, the ending date. So every day you see that pier coming along, it's going to be done. And we need to be thankful that we've got the pier. Instead of looking at all the naysay, look at the positive of it. Okay? We're very fortunate of the town to have the federal government give us $10 million to build it. Very fortunate. The state of South Carolina come up with another $1 million, along with Russell Fry come up with another $500,000. So we need to thank these guys and be thankful that we live in a beautiful town, that we're going to have festivals, we're going to have things, people are going to come visit us, but it's a short period of time. And we're all going to be here a very short period of time. So when you stop and think about that kind of stuff and look at it in that perspective, it's not so bad. And 10 years from now, we'll be walking with our walkers, climbing in steps on that pier saying, I remember when they built this thing. So, let's have a good time. It's all about Surfside, okay? And happy birthday to Surfside too. That's great. So we'll get next 59 to 120. We won't be here, but somebody will remember us. So that's it. Thank you. Have a good evening.
I'm impressed the way that the town of Surfside has cranked it up a notch. If you take a look at what the Christmas tree lighting used to be, and now take a look at what the Christmas tree lighting is today. If you take a look at the fire department and what the fire department used to be, and that you never heard that much about the fire department and what they did, and now you see all the improvements that are going, and a lot of the improvements are life-saving improvements for the residents of this town. Where if we have medical staff on all of our equipment now to go out and to be first responders to the thing, your chances of survival are twice as good as they were before. So I mean, these are services that are for the residents. So and we're taking it up a notch on everything that we do. So and yeah, as far as the pier being not finished and being delayed again, I'm just as disappointed as everybody else. How we keep getting a date and, they keep kicking it down the road, but there are certain things that we don't have any control over. One is the supply chain on what we have, and the other is that the inspections, like he was talking about the fire suppression system. That's something that's regulated by the state. They come in and do it, and they set the regulations, and there are certain amount of testing that needs to be done before they can get it done. So you can't jam all that in before April 16th. So certain things are just making it go a little bit longer, but you know, good things come to those who wait. So we'll see what happens, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. Now, I thank you all for coming tonight, and I want everybody to grab a cupcake on the way out because, you know, Food Lion donated them to us, and they're for us. And happy birthday, Surfside. So thank you very much. And with that, I need a motion to go into executive session. No?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go into executive session for pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act 30-4-70A and discussion of negotiations and proposed contract arrangement and discussion of legal advice relates to a threatened or political claim.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. We're going into executive session. You all are welcome to wait until we get done. We're not sure if any motions are going to take place.